Hello and welcome back to Mountain Blade Warband, and we're here in the Roddox territory. Now, here's the problem with this. Mr. GRAVETH, I've taken a look at him, I've seen his composition, and so far I'm actually not impressed. I think we can probably beat him, but not by ourselves. I don't know. Here's the thing. If I had, and if we take a look at my composition right now, if those mercenary cavalry, those 17 mercenary cavalry, were instead Swadian knights, then I think I'd probably be able to beat him by myself. Very much depending on the battlefield layout and all that wonderful stuff, because obviously we do have to bear that in mind. The battlefield does matter and does make a pretty significant difference to how effective a certain army is going to be. And for me specifically, I can only hope that we don't have an issue where there's going to be a massive hill or something for King GRAVETH's wonderful crossbowmen to go on top of. That is going to be literally one of the worst nightmare situations that we can be in. And, okay, I'm seeing a hill. I am seeing a hill. Not a big fan of this. Let's see whether... Wait a minute. Are they actually over there? They are. Okay, this is actually pretty bad. Can we walk through these? Yeah, we can walk through these. Okay, that's good to know. That's actually one of the primary reasons why I have died in a number of other Warband series. I seem to remember very vividly running through a battlefield, and then all of a sudden I get stopped by some shrubbery, and I think to myself, what? This shrubbery is not clippable? And then all of a sudden I get shot in the face or killed by a lance in the back or something like that. So I'm very, very pleased that these are, these are things that I can pass through. So that's going to really make things a huge amount easier, a huge amount. Anyway, yeah, this is exactly what I was actually worried about. They have taken the hill. Which is to be expected, of course. I mean, that's exactly what they should be doing. Which I'm actually pretty proud that they're doing that, because many times, I'm gonna say it, Warband AI is a bit stupid. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And it's actually really, really nice to see that their crossbowmen have actually decided to take the high ground. And, I have the high ground, Anakin, and, so on and so forth. It really does make a very big difference. Anyway, yeah, my allies are actually going in, I believe, which is not the best idea, I gotta say, but I'm gonna tell my cavalry to charge in now so that we can actually do something. Hopefully I'm not gonna get shot myself. Are you serious? That's one of the... that grinds my gears. That really grinds my gears. It's one of those things, It's one of those things that always happens to me no matter what. It's really, really funny how that happens every single time. Basically, if you didn't see what happened there, I think I've mentioned this before in this series as well, but basically what happens is you go close to a crossbowman or any ranged character, actually. Anyone that's capable of using a ranged weapon, for example, even a thrown weapon can have this happen. And then they turn around on a swivel and they shoot you, just enough. They do just enough damage, nothing amazing, but just enough damage to be able to interrupt your melee attack. And that is so incredibly annoying at times, because you're trying to interrupt a crossbowman or an archer, or to a lesser extent, obviously interrupting a thrown weapon user or something like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get interrupted, and then you're basically, you've done nothing. You've done nothing because this guy has just shot you in the face or in the body or whatever, and you're interrupted, and now you're doing zero. You're doing 0 damage, you're taking damage, and you've got a net loss, basically. A net loss of your actions. And that's obviously every single thing that you do not want to do. Every single thing. Because obviously you are always going to want to do something, and I think I was talking about this. I'm not entirely sure if I was talking about this in the In the yeah, I was actually, yes. I was talking about this in the Land of Seeker series. If you're not watching the Land of Seeker series, then, well, I'm going to mention it here anyway, just very briefly. Basically, the positive impact when it comes to actually doing battle as the player character makes so much difference. And okay, you may think, oh well, duh, you know, obviously that is going to be the case because a positive impact is much better than a negative one, right? Yeah, of course. Obviously, I have been on the end of both of those things. You know, I have been a negative influence to my forces as well as a positive influence. I'd like to think I'm a little bit more positive than negative, but you know, sometimes things happen and I make mistakes. But now here's the thing. If you can make it, and this is just a bit more of like a beginner sort of tip, I guess, for anyone that's just starting to play Mount and Blade in general. A really good way to think about this is, are you actually doing something that is quantifiably useful? And I'm not talking about dealing damage here. I'm not talking about dealing damage, because you may think, and this is definitely a thing that, you know, plagues a lot of different genres, games in general, and mostly, I don't know whether, maybe multiplayer more? Yeah, I'm trying to think about it actually now that I mentioned that, but yeah, I suppose it is more prevalent in multiplayer titles. And let's say you're in a competitive environment, maybe even, you know, in a PvE element. In other words, player versus enemy. So player versus entity, whatever, you know, player versus AI rather than player versus player, of course. But let's just say that that's actually the case. And this is very much a mindset that carries over from those kinds of games as well. And I'm not talking about the positivity here, obviously, because there's a lot of things wrong with multiplayer games. Some of the time, you know, communities and so on and so forth, they can be kind of toxic sometimes. But yeah, the point is, what I'm trying to mean here, damage is not everything. Damage is not everything at all. If you can go away from a match, and again, I'm going to use match loosely here, because obviously if you apply it to Mount and Blade, I'm talking about a battle, I'm talking about a siege, something like that. If you can walk away from one of those situations, same thing with a multiplayer game. For example, let's say you go into a game of, I don't know, CSGO or something. I don't know. I mean, that's a very loose example here, but let's say you go into a game of that. The best thing that you can really do, and I'm not going to say that I'm an expert at CSGO, because I'm certainly not. This is just an example. If you've made a positive impact, even if you have not shot anyone, in the case of CSGO, of course, if you've made a positive impact in the way that you have either distracted the enemy, used a flashbang to blind someone, basically just played a bit of a decoy, you know, been a distraction some way, something like that. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to Mount and Blade as well. These kinds of positive impacts, net gains, instead of, you know, instead of thinking to yourself that you 100% have to deal damage to be able to be useful. That's not the case. That is far and away not the case, because the main thing is doing something that helps your team win, or in my case, helps my army win. And I was talking about this, as I say, in the Seeker series, and in general, it holds true throughout a lot of different game genres. And obviously not so much in single-player RPGs, I guess. Yeah, not so much in that, but I would definitely say that 10,500 dinars is actually going to be a very nice offer for Mr. GRAVETH, and I will be accepting that. Thank you very much. And I actually really wanted to take this. Unfortunately, someone went in there. But that's okay. We can just continue to run around here. But yeah, that's what I was talking about when I was in that battle, and I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm getting into that mindset again. You know, I'm getting into the mindset of, I really need to do damage to be useful. And I'm thinking to myself, just that the entire time. I'm thinking, oh, I really need to do this. I need to do this to win the day, or I need to do this for reasons that actually don't matter. Because dealing damage at the end of the day is not the only way you can win or contribute in a positive fashion to your overall success. And that's the thing. Like, for example, in these battles right here, I could literally do no damage whatsoever, and I would still, hopefully, at least, be able to cause a positive outlook for whether we're going to achieve victory or not. And to do that, well, how do we do that? Well, obviously, acting as a distraction, running our horse into the archers. So, for example, if I had no weapon whatsoever, if I had no range, no melee, no nothing, and I just had a bunch of shields, for example, the way that I would be able to influence the battlefield would literally just be to do those things, to distract the opponent, to move in with my horse, to daze the various archers, and so on. And I wouldn't have to deal damage to be able to influence that, which, in my opinion, is pretty cool. So, for example, as I say, this is very much a case of if you are someone that is new to the franchise and you're not, you're not proficient yet with the combat, or maybe you just don't really like the combat, who knows, maybe you just think the combat is a bit too clunky, or maybe you enjoy other aspects of the game. And of course, that's perfectly fine. You can play the game however you like. I'm not going to stop you, that's for sure. But that's the whole point. You can always impact the battlefield in some way or another. It doesn't have to be in getting kills. Of course, in Warband, this is a little bit more... It's a little bit more important to get kills, primarily for the fact that it actually does give you experience. That's the only thing that is kind of detrimental to the whole, positive influence, on the battlefield notion or theory or whatever you want to call it. That's the only thing, because then you're going to have a slightly slower time of leveling up your character, and obviously that's kind of a bit meh, because you really do want to level up, don't you? It's fun to level up. It's fun to spend your points and to see your character become just that much stronger. So, anyway, this has been my TED Talk, and oh, terrible. Okay, yeah. Anyway, hopefully you understood what I was attempting to convey there, because really, goodness knows, I am not that good at explaining stuff, so yeah, maybe I confused you more than, gave you clarity or something like that, but hopefully not. Hopefully I did actually explain it relatively nicely. Ooh, this guy actually left. Oh, hello there, sir. Oh, you made a big mistake. Yeah, so as I say, we're basically just going to be running around. This is basically what I said in the previous episode as well. We're just going to be trying to run around, trying to eliminate as many of the Rodok vassals as we can. And I'm actually super surprised that we're not seeing any of my other vassals around here. I mean, yeah, of course, they have different personalities and everything, and these different personalities are definitely making it a bit more difficult for us to actually make inroads in the Rodok territory. I mean, you can see here that all of these vassals have around 110 to 120 units, and I'm talking about the Rodoks here, of course. And, well, I've seen, and I've confirmed this, I've seen a lot of our vassals, they have a lot more. They have 160 and something along those lines. They have a lot of people. And it kind of makes me kind of disappointed, to be honest. It makes me disappointed, it makes me kind of sad that we're not seeing that power running alongside us, or at the very least, doing something that is actually kind of useful instead of just, running around randomly in our home territory. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're actually doing something. Maybe they are actually doing something and they're defending, or I can only hope that they're defending. Or maybe they're just patrolling around, leveling up their troops or something like that. I mean, that, I guess, would be actually kind of okay, I suppose, but definitely wouldn't be something that I would want them to do. But yeah, obviously their personality types are definitely making a big difference here. As a couple of people actually did mention in the comments, it really makes a huge difference what kind of personality the lords have with how they treat you and how they interact with you as well. Which, I gotta say, I don't think that actually happens as much in Bannerlord. I don't know. Because there's that whole thing where, you know, persuading a vassal in Bannerlord is a little bit different than how it would work in Warband. I mean, obviously the persuasion system is a bit different in general, and persuasion itself is maybe not that useful in Warband. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm not going to say it's useless, but it's obviously not as good as the persuasion system in Bannerlord. I think the persuasion system in Bannerlord is really, really fun when it actually allows you to get into a conversation where you can persuade people. Then I think it's great. You know, I think it's really, really cool that you're going to be able to persuade a vassal to potentially join your faction, and then they bring over, you know, whatever fiefs they have ownership over. And I think that's really awesome. You know, that's a super cool feeling to be able to utilize one of your skills and bring over a former enemy over to your side. I think that sounds so incredibly fun. And it is actually fun to do that. But obviously in Warband it's a little bit different, and that doesn't really happen as much. But the relation and the personality type seem to make much more difference in regards to whether lords actually end up joining you or whether they just join someone else. Of course, I'm not sure if you've been here for that much time in regards to how many of the Nord vassals went and joined the Sarranids. Because there were actually quite a few of them that actually went over and joined the Sarranids in comparison to joining us, which is, you know, not exactly great, So I'm a bit worried about that, all things considered. But we'll see. Oh yeah. Also, bear in mind about that whole siege thing. All right. Okay. So now here's the thing. Sieges. Okay. I am at a pretty significant disadvantage because I don't have any ranged weapon. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to try and see if I can replace... I'm probably not going to use the one-handed. So I'm going to replace these two things right here. And we're going to use the two-handed, a shield, and then a crossbow and some bolts. I think that's probably going to be my best bet, so that's what we're going to do. And as a result of this, I'm going to go over to Suno, and I'm going to see whether I can actually buy some stuff. I'm not going to sell these things, but I'm going to just keep them in my inventory, and then we'll see whether maybe I need to sell them at some point in the future. But yeah. Also, I actually really love the Huskal round shield, so I'm probably going to be keeping that, but I do appreciate the suggestion that you said something like a Pavis shield or something along those lines would actually be super, super good. And I agree. I think it is actually a very good shield. The only problem with it is I think it's a bit too... it's got the same speed, actually. I don't know. I always seem to feel like this gets destroyed really easily. Maybe it's because of the resistance rating. It might be due to the resistance or something like that. But whatever the case, let's just take a quick look at the various selections that we might have available here. Ah, here we go. Hello. There is a heavy crossbow available. Heavy crossbow instead of a regular crossbow. It's only 2 slower and it does so much more damage. So we're going to get that. And I will get... Oh. Hello. You are my favorite weapon in this entire game. I'm going to be getting a Bardiche or a Great Bardiche. I love both of these. I will get the Great Bardiche. There we go. Oh yeah. If you didn't know this about me, I absolutely love the Bardiche. I think it is probably one of the best, if not the best weapon in the whole game, but that is just me. Maybe you don't think so, maybe you have a preference. I certainly do, and it's this. I love it. and hopefully I'm going to be able to use it relatively nicely. Where's all the bolts? Oh, there we go. There are the bolts. Okay, so yeah, we're probably just going to get a pack of this. There we go. And now we're going to start leveling up my crossbow skill. It's going to take a little bit of time for that to actually come to fruition, which is kind of irritating. But I guess that's why we have a bunch of vassals to fight. So let's go over there and see what we can do. And I'm thinking, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to call for a campaign right here. Let's do that. And we're just going to wait for a little bit of time. Because someone actually mentioned that maybe it would be a good idea for us to wait in the same exact location for a couple of vassals to join us instead of running around. Now, I personally don't think this makes any difference, but maybe it does, because I haven't really called for a campaign, and as I say, I'm a bit rusty when it comes to dealing with Warband's mechanics as it is. You know, it's been a long time. It's been a couple of years since I played the game, so obviously that might impact things a little bit. I'm actually a bit worried about my food situation. No, my food situation's fine. Okay, no, never mind, yeah. It's just because it's not on the screen, you see. It's not on the screen at any time, and in Bannerlord, obviously, you do have the food situation on your screen all the time, and it's kind of obvious that when you're running out, and yeah, it's a lot more unlikely that you're going to, you know, not notice that. Okay, so this guy is literally running around with 37. Okay. This is a weird fellow. Oh, Lord Galad has renounced his allegiance. Yes, fantastic. We like him. Yeah. We like him a lot. He has a huge amount of relation with us. So hopefully he's going to join us. Well, he is going to join us. I just have to go back there and accept him, I suppose. Okay, so Grunwalder Castle. I'd love to take this, but it's so painful. Oh, hello. Oh, look at this. NELAG, can you come over here, sir? What are you doing? He's chasing after these guys. Whoa, he's reckless. Look at him. He is so incredibly reckless. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, NELAG is an absolute monster. What is he actually doing? I have no idea, but he seems to have a lot of guts. That's all I can say. He seems to have a lot of guts. Let's hope that we can save his guts as we go in here and try to prevent him from suffering a rather embarrassing defeat. Or technically, it wouldn't even be embarrassing because he's actually outnumbered right here. But yeah, well, let's see what we can do. Okay, so I obviously have my Bardiche. I'm gonna have to get used to using this, by the way, because this is a little bit less reach than the sword, and it's been a long time since I've used a Bardiche as well, by the way, so obviously there's going to be a bit of growing pains, I guess you could say, but hopefully nothing too dramatic, and I'll be able to, you know, just kind of slide on into, you know, the comfortability of an old familiar tool that I can use to murder my opponents or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, let's just be a bit of a distraction, as I said before. Positive influence on the battlefield. This is a distraction right here, because obviously these crossbowmen, they're attempting to kill me, and they're just completely ignoring my cavalry coming from over the hill, which is absolutely perfect. Look at that. That was really, really nice. And that means that, look at this. For the price of 50% of my horse's HP, which, of course, it's still alive, it doesn't really mind too much about that, I have basically just won this battle with very minimal casualties. And if the enemy actually spawns in here as well, it's going to be even easier because they are, well, they're right there and they're just going to get murdered. Or at least we can only hope that to be the case. Yeah. As you can see, they have just spawned over in this direction. So let me see if I can go over there and see if I can assist. Because it seems like we are actually losing a couple of extras that we wouldn't really want to. Look at how much damage this Bardiche does, though, really. It's super nice. And obviously it does additional damage against shields, too. NELAG got him... Oh, NELAG is... I don't even know what he's on about right now, because for me personally, I feel like his action here was really very reckless. For him to go into a battle against someone that has 220 units and he only had 150, I'm not entirely sure if he thought he could win this, but he had a pretty good army. I actually was very surprised to see his composition was not bad. He had, I think it was what, 13 Vagia Knights and 19 Vagia Marksmen. And that's a pretty good, pretty strong, pretty worthy army of going into a battle against any of these guys. So yeah, it's actually not even bad. Now we have a battle advantage of 5. So we are going to have even more units on the battlefield now. And this is going to be, wow, yeah, this is going to be super, super, super simple. And then maybe now that NELAG is with us, although to be fair, I'm not entirely sure what his personality type is. So I don't know whether he's actually going to want to follow me or not. I can only hope that he will. Maybe, you know what? Maybe me helping him right here is actually going to increase my relation with him. And maybe increase it enough that he might listen to me? Yeah, that would be nice, but I am not holding my breath, really, for that. Because that's one of those things where sometimes it's just a mystical thing. You know, Warband AI actually following you is a bit of a mystical thing. So maybe maybe it's gonna happen, maybe it's not. But I can only, I don't know, cross my fingers and kind of hope that that will be the case. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, look at that, look at that. Oh yeah, yeah, look at this. He actually didn't have any relation with us at all. That is really surprising. Okay, I thought he actually had a significant amount, but he doesn't. Alright, so yeah, thankfully we actually managed to get some relation with him, so maybe he'll start to follow me now. That would be nice. And otherwise, I guess I could actually lay in a pursuit against this fellow as well. Can we get him? Yeah. Only Nadar? Okay, well, we got Nadar in the battle with us, which I suppose is okay, but yeah, not particularly good. I mean, I would have loved to have actually besieged something with all these guys, but it seems like NELAG is actually running back already, which is just, I don't even know what he's doing with that. But anyway, ooh, hello there, sir. Oh, you are making a grave error. Graveth error. Okay, yeah. And looks like that is all she wrote. I decided, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna shut my face a little bit and just try to concentrate here, because even though this was a pretty, well, admittedly simple battle, I did get my horse killed, and I would have liked to have prevented myself from actually dying as well, which is what I tried to do right there. Anyway, there we go. We were able to achieve victory, and I'm actually wondering, are these... Is anyone else actually going to come? Are they gonna come and assist me? No. No. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, well, that is somewhat disappointing, let's just say that. I do have 32 Swadian Knights. What is he doing? Are you seriously raiding this right now, sir? You are a bit of an imbecile, aren't you? Okay, I'm going to speak to him. I'm going to speak to him for a very specific reason. Hello there, sir. Alright, so I have a new task for you. Follow me. He's actually doing that. Are you serious? Come on. He is. Okay, fantastic. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Okay, it's going to take 4 hours. Have I leveled up yet, by the way? I don't think I have. I'm very sad about that. Oh, well. Never mind. Oh, look at this. Count Fratian of the Kingdom of Rodux has been taken prisoner by someone from Reformia. I have no idea who did that, but apparently someone. Anyway, let's do it. Let's go straight on in, and let's see how we do, because we have a lot of people. We have a battle advantage of 3, which I'm very surprised about, and I can now raise my shield very proudly here. And I have no idea how many archers I actually have. I have 3. Are you serious? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to bring out my crossbow. I'm not entirely sure how well I'm going to be able to shoot with this thing. Actually, not badly. I almost hit that guy up there. Okay, yeah, well, we're going to need to do a little bit better than that once we get somewhat closer. And this is going to be one of those things, you know. This is going to be one of those things. This is, you know, the thing that we really badly failed at last time. So, obviously, I would like to be able to do something here, but this is going to be painful. This is going to be very painful. Let me see if I can do something. Really? I should have leveled this up way before. Oh, nice headshot. Thank you. Okay, can we get some more? Can we get some more, please? How did I miss that? Are you serious? Okay, this guy's actually starting to focus me down, so I'm actually just gonna take him out, apparently. Very nice. Okay, he's probably going to start focusing me. Yes, he is. There we go. Nice little dodge to the right. And he shot me. Of course he did. Wow. Okay, I gotta say, Warband crossbows... Warband crossbows are not that good. Let's just say that. Okay, how are my forces doing? Not the best. Oh, nice headshot. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh, the inaccuracy of this thing. The inaccuracy is killing me right now. Okay. Oh, have my people gotten inside? Oh, they actually got inside. I am super surprised. Now I'm going to get shot by all of the remaining crossbowmen. Yep. Yeah, that... yes. What can I do about that? I don't know. I mean, maybe I could just go a little bit faster after them or something like that. I mean, that could possibly work, but yeah. Anyway, I think we'll probably be able to take Grunwalder Castle, but we're going to need to go in there after a little bit of time, just restoring ourselves, I suppose. But otherwise, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.